Over my 42-year career, I found there are certain core values that transcend shifts in technology and culture. And if you work at them, they'll not only help you strive for excellence and capture opportunity, they will give you a better chance of looking back when you're older, like me, and being satisfied with how you've spent your time. The first one I had to learn the hard way. I was in my 30s, working at Bear Stearns, and I had a deal go south in what felt like a spectacular failure. I went storming into the office of my mentor, Richie Metrick, and I was extremely emotional. He looked at me all bent out of shape, my arms were waving, and he said, "Would you like to have a conversation about this?" I shouted back at him, "Yes." He said, "Then why don't you go back out there, calm down, try that again." So I literally walked back out of his office, took a deep breath, and walked back in with a much more balanced and constructive approach. We talked for an hour, which brings me to my first value, growth. Embrace criticism. Be open to change. It is a wonderful life skill to examine our faults and then adapt. One of the things that has helped me enormously is finding mentors I trust and then trusting them when they tell me I can do better. I learned a lot about this from my dad, who was a leading expert in what I could do better. When I was in high school, I once complained to him that I didn't have enough money to do the things I wanted to do. His response? Get another job. I told him I can't. I had essays to write. I played 3 sports. I scooped 31 flavors of ice cream at Baskin-Robbins. So he told me to take out a calendar and write down everything I did each day. And I noticed when I had to account for every minute that I actually wasted a reasonable amount of time. 3 weeks later, with a bit more intentionality in my schedule, I was working a second job, flipping burgers at McDonald's. My father had a great way of never telling me what to do, but always showing me a different way of looking at things. So find strong mentors, embrace criticism, and be open to change. The second value is commitment. Show up. More than a little success comes from knowing what matters to you and who matters to you, and then showing up over and over again. When I was 7 years into my career, an impressive entrepreneur was planning to shake up the casino business in Las Vegas, and I wanted to help him raise money to finance his aspiration. One day, we invited him for lunch at Bear Stearns, and he arrived 2 hours late for the meeting, just after the executive dining room had closed. We had ordered sandwiches, but he felt slighted that he wasn't important enough to be served a hot lunch. He left in a huff. I was only a 29-year-old investment banker, but I was determined to secure him as a client. So every 3 to 4 weeks, for several years, I flew up to Boston to have lunch with him. Always in his office, always served hot. And slowly but surely, we built a trusting relationship. 7 years later, he decided to raise over $1 billion to finance the development of his flagship property in Las Vegas. At long last, he called me to say, "I want you to help me with the financing." But there was a catch. He wanted me to work with the Goldman Sachs. Now, in retrospect, perhaps it was prudent of him not to put all his eggs in the Bear Stearns basket. But I took it personally. I'd spent 7 years cultivating this opportunity, and now I had to share it with someone else. I swallowed my pride. My counterpart at Goldman Sachs, John Winklereid, and I ended up working incredibly well together. And then on the flight back from the closing dinner, John turned to me and said, "So, would you ever think about coming to work at Goldman Sachs?" It was then that I realized I could finally quit my job at Baskin-Robbins. As you progress in your career, your priorities will shift and expand. Choose to show up when it matters, both in business and in your personal life. My daughters were 5 and 7 when they decided they wanted a magician for their birthday parties. Now, my dad used to teach me magic tricks when I was growing up. And because I hated drinking milk, my mom used to watch me make it disappear into a cornucopia of newspaper so I didn't have to drink it. But fast forward to age 35, my magic was rusty. So I practiced for months. For example, you know those metal rings that magicians play with that magically link together and pull apart? It's a sleight of hand trick, and it takes some practice. I'd be holed up in my office at home, doors closed, and my daughters would hear loud clanks down the hallway as I tried to get promotions right, followed by inappropriate curse words that they really shouldn't repeat. Were they the best magic shows? No. Did I wear a tuxedo and have perfectly curated stories for each trick? Yes. Do my daughters still tell stories about this more than 25 years later? Absolutely. Know what matters to you and show up. Which brings me to the third value, connection. Invest in people and relationships. The truth is, you guys don't have to look hard to find smart, funny, interesting people in your life. You're graduating with over 800 of them. As you go back into your careers all over the world, try hard to stay connected. There have been various times in my career when every week I picked up the phone and tried to call 3 to 5 people. No agenda, just, hey, I'm thinking about you. How are you? Especially if they were in a challenging moment. I didn't think much of it at the time, but years later, people started telling me how meaningful it was to them. And in more than a few cases, it deepened our relationship. The telephone is one of the most underrated technologies in the world. A phone call to someone is 10 times more effective than a text or an email. My daughter says that's an unverified statistic, but I know it's true. Or now, and I'm really dating myself with this, a handwritten thank you note. Even if, like me, your handwriting is terrible. People are touched by it. I know I am. In my office, I keep an entire drawer full of notes that people have written to me, thanking me for something that was meaningful to them. I've had an interesting career, but one of the most rewarding things has been playing a small role in other people's success along the way. No matter what path you choose, invest in relationships. It will help you succeed. It will make your journey more fulfilling. But to keep yourself going through the long journey ahead of you, you need a fourth and last value I want to talk about, and that's passion. Cultivate what fuels you and don't let it go. It's important to choose a profession you're passionate about. I did. I love finance, and I love the career journey I've been on. But it is also important and necessary, I think, to have passions away from your work. It was July 2017 when my own passion came under scrutiny, and I felt serious pressure to give it up. 6 months earlier, I had become the president of Goldman Sachs, and my visibility had increased. That day in July, the New York Times headline read, "At Goldman, he's David Solomon. At the club, he's DJ D. Sol." I have always had a passion for music. In college, I was officially the social chair of my fraternity. And unofficially, I was the guy who made the mixtapes for parties. And we had a few. I transfer songs one by one from LP record to cassette, finding exactly the right order to bring down the house. At our annual Christmas party, it was Bruce Springsteen's "Santa Claus is Coming to Town," straight into "Start Me Up" by the Rolling Stones, always finishing with "Echo Beach" by Martha and the Muffins. Friends, try and play that sequence to your parents. You'll see a side of them you've never seen before. Through the years, while I've worked hard in a career, I've never stopped loving music. I was the guy at any event with a computer, multiple playlists, and an aux port. Thank God they invented the iPhone and I don't have to lug my computer around anymore. So when that article came out, I had been DJing on the side for a number of years. All sorts of people came to me saying, you have to stop DJing if you want to be the CEO of Goldman Sachs. Ultimately, I decided I enjoyed DJing too much to give it up, and it's something I still do today, although a little bit less visibly. It enriches my life, and it's kept me grounded in turbulent times. And besides, and many of you know this, nothing is more exciting than a damn good drop at 130 beats per minute. I also never thought my list of personal references would include Hank Olson, Lloyd Blankfein, the Chainsmokers, Kygo, and Tiesto. There's something you do, each and every one of you, that gives you excitement and joy. Don't let it fall by the wayside. You have a long journey in front of you, full of setbacks and tough days. It will be a lot easier to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, if you stay connected to what it is that lights you up.